Hey, Vinny, what do you say we make these guys made men? Uh, sure, boss. What's up, Nitro Nation? Couldn't help it, man. Uh, Somebody asked me, you got to do a group shot of, a family shot of your Italian family. This is my Italian family. And I'm not finished. There's one, two, there's three more Italian motors for now, by the end of this year, that I'm going to add. I will tell you one of them's a Pico. There'll be another Reds. And a Works. Works is another Italian motor that I don't own. Even though they're on the .21, at least one of them I want. I don't know if the B4, B6, B2, there's a few of them. I think it's the B2, which is the better one. And obviously that one will be modified, just like all my motors. Most of my motors, anyway. The only one, like I said, that will stay semi-stock is this one here. This one is the only one that will stay semi-stock. This is my original first Novarossi 28.8 Rex Legend. By the way, if you didn't notice or not, these are all Italian pipes. All my motors, well, not all, well, majority of my motors, 99.9% of my motors and my pipes are all Italian. So there you go, people. There is the Italian family. Alright. Got Mr. Pico over here. We got Mr. Reds, newest Reds. We got Reds Modified. This one is Muggy Modified, but it's not full modified. It's not bone stock. I did a little bit more kind of touch-up work to it. Cool thing about the Reds, if you want to do your own work to it, you don't really have to do anything as far as crank fill, because they've already got tungsten slugs in them, if you've ever seen their cranks, and their cranks are already silicone. They're already ramped, so you don't need to do anything like that. I just opened up the ports a little bit, kind of stretched them out, grinded the crank a little bit on the crank ports, which make the fuel flow better through the motor. So next time we run it, I think I am going to run this one next in the buggy. I want to run the modified one, but I still need to continue to break this one in because it still doesn't have not even a half gallon through it. It's maybe got a quart or 2 quarts maybe. And as you guys know, this over here, the newest edition of the Italian family, actually the 2 new editions, the Rex Legend 28.8 that I did the unboxing on, and this one here, the Elite 5-port Novarossi. This one's going to be, this one and that one, they're going to be modified, obviously. So Reds is this is the R5. This was my first Reds. This is already modded by RB Mods. So is that one, and so is that one. These are the 3 that my last mods that I got. This Pico P3, which you guys have seen, spanked some serious ass, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. But again, this is just family shot, group shot. But I'm very proud of my Italian family, man. And for me, granted, I do have one OS, and I doubt it if I'll ever buy another OS, ever. I only got that OS XR Max because it came with where's it at? It came with this Works pipe, which is a badass pipe, and header. These are about $100, and it came with a Serpent clutch bell, 14-tooth clutch bell, and 4-screw clutch setup. For brand new, the motor's brand new. Even though I did break it in for less than $150. So I mean, that's one of the biggest reasons I bought that OS in the first place. Otherwise, I would have never just bought an OS. And hell no, I won't ever spend more. I won't ever spend big coin on a .21. Some of these .21s that I've even got, I'm kind of pushing it. You know, for me to spend even 150 on that Elite 5, but, you know, granted, it did come with a lot of stuff. I mean, for another 40 bucks or whatever, or, you know, 60 bucks, you can get a motor twice the size. Pretty much. But anyway, I do want a Works. They are .21. They make a Works .28. They're very rare though. I found one, but it was beat up. I was gonna get it, but it was too beat up. You know how the Muggy is. If the, you know, I mean, if the top of the heads aren't like in pristine condition, I just keep scrolling. That's how I am. I won't buy them because it just tells me that that person really didn't take care of that motor and really didn't, you know, just abused it basically, you know. And if you ever, and everybody do whatever, I mean, whatever floats your boat, each his own. But if you, I've seen people buy, oh, it's a great motor, and I mean, the guy says it. I mean, that's a turnoff for me. When I see the head all tore up, I'm out. I've seen them like dented. I would, hell no, never buy that. So anyway, welcome all Muggy Maniacs, Truggy Maniacs, Buggy Maniacs, even Monster Truck Maniacs, Fisco Maniacs, or Fisco Insaniacs, because those guys are just insane. So, you guys seen my last video. We rip the hell out of the Mugen MBX7. I mean, after I was done filming, I still ran another tank or two through it. This thing is just nasty, man. I mean, and not so much the platform. I mean, this is a badass. Look at how filthy this thing is. Oh, just to give you an idea, remember, always, and this is how I have showed you guys, and this is what I recommend, and how I keep my shit. Because, I mean, bottom line is, a lot of people, you know, don't tear down their shit all the time. And I know guys that take care of their stuff, like, pretty well. And, but they still don't. And I don't tear my stuff down all the time. But sometimes, you know, it's a judgment call. Now, you look at this, and this thing is just, because of, well, look at that. That's probably like concrete now. Because the grass was moist and wet, because of the, you know, the moisture in the morning, and because of the dirt that was out there. And those are holes that you see in those bumps of dirt. Those are gophers, man. It's like landmines out there. It's kind of crazy when you're, I've been flying my shit and hit a freaking gopher hole, and my shit just went flying. Luckily, I haven't, you know, broke anything. That's why a lot of times, where I'm going to go run, I'll scout the area, kind of walk around and see what's there. Because I don't want to hit a board or hit something sticking out or a sprinkler head, or you never know, and rip your whole friend out. That happened to the MBX5 Pro Spec here, the buggy, which, by the way, is back together. But this thing here got pretty dirty, you know, and I can probably get away with this, but I can't. I don't even want to say that. I'm not going to lie to you. This thing needs to be torn down. Now, I'll probably pull it all apart. The only thing I won't need to split, depending on how they feel. Now, I always check my center diff, my rear diff, and my front diff. As soon as I clean them good enough, because I don't even open up any of my shit like that until it's clean. But, you know, the basics. I take off the motor. Okay, obviously, you've seen the motor. The P3.28, which ran the Titan 2148 pipe, which is a nasty, nasty pipe. Like I said on the comment on the description below my video, this thing outperforms the 9886 with the 41032. Now, it doesn't blow it away, but I can tell the difference. Okay, this is still a badass pipe. If you're gonna run modded motors, this is obviously the combo you want. The 9886, known as now the 551021 Novarosi, and the 41032. But I will tell you, and that's crazy because I always learned, you know, and always seen conical headers, which is what this is. Okay, has mostly been run on .21s. But like I said, Lance designed this for 2 years at RC Renew, did the research and development, and designed this, and tested all these other pipes. and his pipe outperformed. And I can honestly say now, running it, and I'm going to try it on other motors because I've only ran it on 2 motors, that this pipe, as far as bottom and mid, is nasty. It screams pretty. It got some top end. You guys seen it. I wasn't even hitting full throttle. And I'm only running, I'm not, because I mean, some guys, Mr. Zaw runs a 15, I think, has run a 15. I was running a 14, which I standard run. Sometimes I'll pull a 13. Oh, and by the way, this is only a 3-shoe clutch in here. You guys can't see it, but there's a 3-shoe max life clutch in here, and I'm running medium springs underneath this ProTech 14 pinion bell. Which, by the way, I recommend if you're looking for good pinion bells, whether you got 4-shoe or 3-shoe, look into ProTech. They use the offset, or they use the bigger inner bearing with the outer smaller bearing, which is better than the smaller, both smallers. So I recommend A-Main, ProTech. ProTech's got some good shit. I use a lot of ProTech, and as you guys know, I mentioned before, I got ProTech receivers that I'm purchasing. They're like $70 a piece. They're not the top end ones, but I'm not going to spend $140 on a servo. Not yet. Now, if these ProTechs are decent and I don't have any issues with them, maybe I'll invest in the more expensive ones later. Because eventually, if these ProTechs are really good, I'll use my JXs for backups. I've never had any issues with JXs. I run, these are like 30, they're less than $50 for these JX servos that I use. And I use them. And I think the big test of an inexpensive servo is when you scream your shit for a long period of time, because servos, FYI, people, servos get hot. All servos get hot. So a lot of times if the servo can't handle the heat, and it's not a quality servo, you're going to have issues. Whether it's, even the glitch buster. Glitch buster is not going to make or break you. So, is it a good precaution to take? Sure. But is it going to make the difference between, your shit running away? No. That's why I run it directly in the battery. Because I've never had a problem. I've ran my shit directly in my battery for probably almost 2 years now. Okay? Not on all of my vehicles, but on most of them. The last one was, I think, that I ran a switch on was the Mugen, this one here, when I first got it. Okay? And I immediately took that shit out and haven't had a problem ever since. And like I said, I'm only speaking from my 5-time world championship runaway. I'm the 5-time world champ of runaways. I'm so proud of that. Man, I am so blessed and so fortunate that I didn't wreck my shit. Because I bent some shit. Actually, now, when I started looking, I bent some shit in the Techno. It's nothing major. But, the drivetrains, the front and rear drivetrains, the aluminum ones that I had in there, they got bent. So I'm just going to replace them. They're not that, and like I said before, Techno gives you a shit half price. So, they're like $20 a piece. Why buy one, get one free? Not a big deal. But, like I said, I don't run switches anymore. And, just, if you're going to get the best servo, let's just say you don't have the money, you're pinching pennies, money's tight, put your best servo always on your throttle. That's my suggestion. If you're going to spend the coin and you can't get, two $100 servos or two $60 servos or whatever, get one, run the one that you still have on the steering, but put the best one in your throttle. Because who gives a shit if your steering goes out? That's not going to make your shit run away. That's not going to cause, accidents or damage. Okay, it's the throttle. When that throttle locks up, you're out. You're SOL, people. They know, unless you get one of those kill switches, which they do make. But what's been working for me, and this is what works for me, and what I have no issues with, like I said, is running my battery straight into my receiver. So, anyway, but yeah, this thing here is just, man, this P3 is so nasty. And like I said, I underestimated this thing. This thing is packing a punch. I would recommend to somebody with a little bit more experience, not a newbie, this motor before a Rex Legend. Why? Because it's cheaper. Okay. It's like, $60 cheaper. Or $50 cheaper minimum. Something like that. $70. Something like that. It's cheaper. But it is going to be more of a challenge to tune. But the good thing is, once you learn how to tune one of these, you can tune anything, man. Don't get your panties in a ruffle because you can tune an over OC. My freaking 10-year-old niece can tune one of these. Reds also are very touchy. Okay? Because why? Well, guess what? They're related. That's kind of what's crazy. All these motors are in relation. Even though the Pico and the Reds aren't the Novorosi, remember, the son of the founder of Novorosi is the one that started Reds, Mario. So these Reds are connected to Novorosi. They're a Novorosi based motor. You ask anybody that knows anything. Reds are basically a Novorosi. Just a little bit more higher end, a little bit more technology, but the core of the Reds are Pico. So this Pico here has a bloodline going through the Reds, and then the Reds, see what I'm saying? They're all connected. It's like the mafia, man. They're all connected. They come from different families, but they're all related, man. These things are all blood related. That's why they're my mafia family. They're my Italians. I love them, man. And I'm gonna add a couple more, and some more pipes, because I've got more motors than I got pipes, and I can't have that. I gotta have, my motors need pipes. I want all, and this is one thing that I want to do, that I've always wanted to do, and that I'm starting to do. It just makes it so much easier. Every single motor that I own will have the pipe that it runs best on it, and the clutch setup and pinion setup. So all I gotta do, I don't gotta mess with nothing. There's set up no clutches or pipes or any of that crap. Even the motor mounts that I run it in, that's easier to change. So all I gotta do, look, this thing right here is set up. Pop that baby in, set your gear mesh, and you're good to go. Same thing with this. Set up, ready to go. Bam. Okay, these are the only two right now. Well, actually, this one is too. Set up, clutch, pinion, and all. Bam, ready to rock and roll. I want all my motors like that, because then it's so much easier, man. I don't have to play with nothing. Pop that sucker in, and it's ready to rock and roll. Okay, so anyway, that Pico is a badass motor. I've got another one of them coming. Because I'm gonna, after I send those 3 off to Lance, I might, before I even get the ones back from Lance, I'm gonna send another 3 to Rick, because I like Rick's work too. I gotta take care of both of my guys that, the only 2 modifiers that I think are good modifiers. I don't know how Lance's work is yet. I'm gonna find out. Who knows? Maybe I might wait till Lance stuff gets back and his stuff just blows my wig back, because when I get that Novorosi 28.8 Rex Legend back from Lance, we're going to pit it against Rick's modified .28 that he did me. That he did. Okay? And I'll be able to tell the difference, definitely. You guys will be able to see the difference, hopefully. We'll do a comparison. But I want to keep both these guys in business, even if Lance's work is a little bit better or whatever, I like to support, anybody I can in this hobby that, has been supporting us. And without those 2 guys modifying motors and the other guys that do modify motors, us guys that are looking to go to the next level are screwed. So anyway, she is dirty as hell. We're going to clean her. But the first thing that I do, obviously, I take the motor pipe out, clean it up really good. You guys know that. Take my radio tray out, clean it up really good. Electronic cleaner, dynamite cleaner, dirt, whatever you use. I use a lot of rubbing alcohol on it just because it doesn't leave any residue and it's not going to harm any of your electronics. And then I silicone it. Also, I make sure I clean my tank. get all the fuel out of your tank. So those are the basics. That way, if I'm not able to get to it right away, at least I don't have fuel sitting in my tank. I don't have, you know, corrosion or anything getting built up on my electronics, or especially my motor. After runs in there, old fuel's out of there. That Pico motor is ready to rock right now. So I did, after that video, you know, I mean, this is the bottom line, people. If you can get your shit to idle for at least 20 seconds and then just slam the throttle and it sputters a little bit of smoke out and then just hooks up and goes, you're good. I mean, that's what I look for. But like I said, sometimes when you're running it a little rich, it might bog or hesitate or splutter a little too much. But as long as it idles at least 20 seconds, you're good. Some people say a minute. Some people say, you know, forever, for days, whatever, you know. I don't get caught up in that. Bottom line for me, as long as my shit lays down, I mean, laying down means it lays down like power to the ground. That's what I mean by lay down. Lay down, I don't mean by it, you know, idle, settles down. That's not what that means. Okay? Lays down, which means it lays down power to the ground. Shit, you seen my shit. This bitch was hooking up, pulling wheelies, doing black. I don't need to jump this thing. This thing jumps itself. That Pico is nasty. And anything that I put it in. But this Mugen hooks up. I love this Mugen. I'm almost thinking of getting me an 8. I'm really thinking about it. Why not? It's a badass vehicle. The 8 is just even better. I mean, you know. But we'll see, because there isn't any other truckies that I want. I thought of an X-Ray, I thought of Kyosho. Hell no, I'm not getting Associated, because it's a, you know, a poor copy of a Mugen. HBs are okay, but you know, there isn't really any truggy out there that I would get. Now maybe Techno down the line if they when they bring out a new one, but you know, if I get any other truggy before the end of this year, it'll be an MBX 8. And I've got all the spare parts and extras for these things, extra discs. So, I mean, it makes perfectly good sense, too. As far as buggies, I've got my arms in a few different ones. And you guys will see it when it gets here. Hopefully, I'll be able to pull the trigger on it in the next couple days. I'm still looking. I'm not trying to be in a rush because I don't want to get something that I really didn't want or something that's not what it was supposed to be. I'm really just picky, man, when I'm getting my shit. It took me months before I got this Mugen MBX 7 truggy or I got my Techno, so... Alright, where else are we at? So anyway, she's getting... Oh, look, see, these are the tires. These tires were caked. Like, I took half the mud and dirt off them. This is what they look like. This I only cleaned one so far. Bam. Fresh. Before. Look at all that shit. After. Alright, people. Now, obviously, you've seen the Italian family. You've seen the... I've done not upgrades to the cave, but, you know, I like, where am I going to put this thing? I don't want a wrench on it. I don't want to use it like a mat. So I put it up there. I think it looks pretty sick. This is like enhances the cave. This is an Italian cave here, people. And this is cool. Check this out. See this thing right here? You know, you guys have seen it before, right? Little plastic things. My neighbor was throwing it out. So I was like, what the hell? So I'm using this. All my tires in here. And I can put more in there. And I got like tons of tires down here. So I got all my 8th scale, 8th scale buggy and truggy tires. What else? The Mugen is back together. Now, you know, people that don't tear down their stuff, and I understand people... Listen, I work 60 hours a week plus, and I still find time to tear my shit all the way down when needed and put it back together. And I'm tired as hell. Working 12 hours a day. Okay? Come home for another 2 hours and wrench and clean my shit. That's why I can say with confidence, okay, my shit performs, looks, and will outlast most people's. Not everybody's, but most. And I can say that with confidence. Because I find time, and I make time, and I make it important to take care of my shit. It's called protecting your investment. I've invested too much money in this shit to say, you know what, I'm tired because I worked 60 hours this week. Well, I'm tired every freaking day, and I still find time. And another thing, I hear people like, well, it must be nice to do that. Listen, I have this shit, and I don't complain about stuff costing money. You know what I do? I work harder. I'll get a second job if I have to. I don't need to, but I would if I had to. I put in the overtime. When I don't want to work on Saturdays, or I don't want to work an extra 2 hours a day because I'm tired, and right now I'm been feeling sick, a lot of flu bugs going around, but I still go to work, and I still put in overtime, and I still work Saturdays, sometimes Sundays. So I get tired of hearing people complain. Get another job. Get a better job. Work harder. Put in some overtime. Work days that you don't want. Do what you don't want to do so you can afford what people can't afford. You know, like I said, guys like me and other guys that are out there that are working class guys that work their ass off, okay? We do what a lot of people aren't willing to do. So we, in the future, can afford to do all this shit. That's all it is. I can afford all this because I choose to work the days that I don't want to work. The time where I want to spend more with my family sometimes, I say, you know what? You need me here at work. You guys need, can I put in some extra hours? No problem, Mr. Hernandez. We appreciate it. No problem, man. And I'm going to be doing that from now solid into the end of this year because I got a habit that I got to support, man. I'm a sick in the head nitro gearhead. So anyway, work harder, man. Don't complain about shit because you can't get it. Just work harder, that's all, I mean, it's that simple. So anyway, I put this caddy together. Take a look at this thing. This thing is pretty sick. I like it. For $10, I think, well, I got another one coming. Because actually I ordered 2 more. Because I want a couple of them in the cave. And I probably will give one away in my contest. I'll throw this in with the motor. By the way, I'm going to be officially starting that contest here soon. I'm just trying to gather, get the time, I should say, aside to where I could, because I got to do some work to that motor. I got to pull it apart, clean it up, and like I said, I'm going to do a little mod to it. But anyway, this is pretty cool. It's made out of plexiglass. So, I mean, you can put all your tools in. I like it because I don't like my shit laying all over the place. I love this thing, man. Love it so much I'm going to get another one. Because I'm getting another set of MIP tools and some speed bits. So I'm going to need, another one to put more tools in. But anyway, in my drawer, I'll just keep, I don't have anything in here now because I got it all out. Because I'm doing some wrenching, tearing this thing down. The Mugen by this weekend will be like the buggy, ready to rock and roll. The buggy is fresh. Oh, so fresh and so clean, people. Yeah, I take care of my shit, and I find time to take care of my shit, and I tear it down because I want my shit to last. Especially if you have stuff that they don't make anymore, stuff that's discontinued. That's all more the reason for you to really maintain it. If you can't find the time to really upkeep and take care of your shit, then, I don't know, maybe you shouldn't have it. Or maybe you should, choose another hobby, I guess. So anyway, also, we're doing shocks. Now, when I take my shocks off, the way that I set up my shocks is, and I've had people ask me in the past, I don't do a lot of wrenching videos because of the simple fact the muggy is very, very tedious. I'm very meticulous. OCD, so my wrenching is boring as hell. But somebody asked me, for the front on Truggy and Buggy, because there's not much different, they're both, pretty much equal as far as weight-wise. Truggy, a little bit, yes, because it's a little bit longer of a vehicle, but other than that, this thing here, this thing is a little pig, too. But anyway, so either Buggy or Truggy. Front, I run 45 TLR. That's all I use is TLR. And I use 50 in the rear. Now, sometimes on my Buggy, I'll go to 40 on the front, depending on where I'm running it. But anyway, and also when I set my shocks, now that I will just tell you this, since I'm not going to get into wrenching on the shocks and all that, and showing you how to set them up and everything. I'm just going to give you a couple tips. Go watch Ryan Letts, his videos on shocks, and Adam Drake. Those are the two guys that I learned to do shocks from. Gordy Testman, or Ty Testman's dad, has a pretty good one too. But mostly Adam and Ryan Lutz, I learned from those guys. But when I set my front shocks, these are the front shocks on the Truggy. I set them with the half dampening, which means when you push down, it goes back half the distance. Some people do zero kickback. I do it this way. So you've got about half kickback on my front. Now on my rear, which this is the rear one, I do a quarter kickback. And the reason the quarter kickback and the half kickback, the whole reason of it is on your rear shocks, you want it resisting more to kick out on the rear because that's where more your weight is. And you want less resistance on your front because your front's a little bit lighter, obviously. So you want a little bit quicker response, especially as far as handling. That's what I've learned as far as setting up shocks. These are great to have if you can get them. They come in the TLR kits. These are to unscrew certain shocks that have the hex nuts on the bottom. Also, these are for the top, for tightening it up. I used to put, still do sometimes, put like a screwdriver in here and like a T-handle and tighten it, but that's not always good. I don't recommend that. These are some sick shocks, I'm telling you, man. These are the new Mugen MBX7 shocks, and the ones on the 8s are the same. But these are the ones that I want to put on the Mugen buggy. I think they will be sick, and they should fit. Not that there's anything wrong with these. These are great ones. Maybe I might, if I do that, maybe I might give these away to somebody. Somebody can use them. These are brand new, man, mint condition. I take care of them and have not had to rebuild them. Well, I think I rebuilt them once, but they're like brand new. And they're great shocks, but just look how small they are compared. Look, these are the two. These are here. These are the rear. I mean, the length, yes, but look at the diameter. This is like 15 years apart in technology. Look how small it is. You can almost put this, the body of this, inside of this one. So obviously, that's one of the reasons I want to put the newer MBX shocks on my buggy, because I think it will benefit it. Not that those shocks don't work, but I think it will benefit it more. Because I noticed this thing is, especially when I put modified motors, this thing is really unstable. And I think a lot of it has to do with the shocks are just, they're not able to handle a lot of that transfer of power. So I think putting in, and you could find them. I know RC Waffle has some used Mugen MBX7 shocks. Like $50-$60, but I gotta find them again. If they're gonna be used, I gotta find them in mint condition. That's one of the things that I look for when I'm buying a whip. If you guys notice, and just start looking when you guys are looking at whips on eBay or whatever. Check the top of the shock bodies, the shocks, right? The top caps, and check the top of the towers. I mean, the top of the shock mounts. Uprights or whatever they call them. You'll notice that majority of people, if you look at the tops of these and the tops of the shocks, they're beat the hell up. These, when I got this MBX, and it's still, are like brand new. And this guy raced. The Techno ones, they're not bad, but if you look at them closely, you can see they're worn. I am going to replace the front and rear of these eventually. So I'm the second owner. I kind of want to refresh it, make it look brand new again. Not that anything's wrong with it. That's just me. You know the Muggy. I'm just OCD about certain shit. But anyway, so yes, the shocks. Okay, now the last thing I'm going to share with you guys before I cut this video. I'm over here and I'm starting to do, this is the MBX 7, or not MBX 7, this is the MBX 8T body. This is the new one that comes with, it's made by Proline, comes with the new MBX 8 Mugens. Now Proline makes another one, I think it's called the Hawk or something. But this is the one that comes with the new Mugen MBXs. And it does fit perfectly on the 7. Thank God, because I didn't know that. And it's pre-cut. And I like the pre-cut because it's just less work that you got to do if you're going to do your own bodies. Most pro lines are like that. The problem with the J concept is you got to cut that shit out. So, I mean, it's not a big deal. I've done many of them like that. But this is just a lot easier to do some of these pro lines. That's why I get the pro line Phantom bodies that are the NBX7 buggy bodies, and I put them on my 5 buggy because they're already pre-cut. I mean, I got to do a little bit of alterations, but not that much. So anyway, this is the picture art thing. So what you're going to need is you're going to need this shit. If you don't have this shit, it ain't happening. And I don't know how much it is. It's not that expensive. There's the part number. I've showed it to you guys. I've got not that much. I'm going to have to order me some more. But I've got enough to do at least one more body. Maybe 2. It's very small. I paid $10 for it. So I've seen it cheaper now after I got it. But anyway, it's by XX Main. So you're also going to need a very, very, very sharp X-Acto. You're going to need a Sharpie. Okay, and I'll explain that. And you're going to need some fine, fine sandpaper. And obviously your pictures. Now the pictures are very important. These are ones that I have extra. They're not going to go on this body. I'm just so I can show you guys. These are ones that never made the cut because either they were too big or they didn't fit right. Okay, so hold on. Where's my stands? Let me guys put you in my stand. But alright. So let me set you guys up right here so I can show you. Alright. I think you guys can see me. Hello, hello. Here. Check, check, check 1, check 2. See these? When you're putting them in the body, okay, this one was one that I was going to put on the front. See how you put it inside like that? Well, you got to be careful of the curves in the body because the whole idea is you got to get this stuff sitting flat. Actually, I could put this in here. It just, when you go to put the glue in it and everything, and then you have to press it. See how it's, I don't know if you can see that or not, but it's starting to crinkle inside. I don't like that. That's the only thing is some of the bodies are only going to allow you to put certain kind of decals or certain kind of pictures inside of it. But as far as the pictures, you want to cut them out of the magazine. I have like a piece of cardboard, as you see this piece of thick cardboard here, or have something like a template where you can set it on and you're not going to cut into your pit mat or wherever you're cutting it on. And then you're going to want to trace really good. You don't want to leave any, I mean, you want to trim as close around the character that you're using as possible. That makes sense. Because it just looks better. Now this actually one I could probably put in front here. But again, because of this Proline body, it has some curves. Now this one I could put because of the way he fits. I'm not going to put it. And now, after you get your pictures cut out and your pictures ready, obviously before you even start your bodies, you guys should know, or if you don't know, clean your body. Soap and water, whatever, clean it, dry it really well, wipe it off so it's nice and dry and clean. Because a lot of times these coming from the factory, they've got residue and bullshit in here, so you want it to stick really well. This stuff here, you kind of shake it or mix it up. But before that, you take your pictures, wherever you're going to put them. Say I wanted to put this one here on the side of the body. It wouldn't fit right, but we'll go with this one. You put it here and hold it where you're going to want it, and then you take your Sharpie and you trace it. You don't have to trace it, to a T, but just kind of trace it in the general area. And then, depending on if you have a bunch of different pictures so you don't forget where it goes, you mark it. Like I would put here, flash. But you got to remember, you can do it on the mark on the outside because it has a protective plastic, the film that comes off. That's why you do it on the outside. Don't do it on the inside. Okay? Don't be the reason. But anyway, once I trace this and I put that flash, then when I take this away, plus I'll know where the position is, where exactly where I want it. That way I don't have to try to fight to see which way it fits. I can find the exact position where I know it's going to go good. and trace it. That way when I go get ready to put it on, glue it on, I can put it and line it up right with my markings. Does that make sense? It's pretty easy. And that goes for wherever you're going to put it. Trace all your shit out. So you're going to have all these trace marks all over here, and you're going to know where your shit goes. Now once you get ready to do that, before you even put the pictures in or put any glue on or anything, this is where the sandpaper comes in. Really fine sandpaper. You're going to want to scuff up within those lines that you traced. And the reason you want to scuff them up really good is because it helps this glue stick a lot better. If you don't do that, I can't guarantee how good it's going to stick or how long it's going to last. Okay? I'm still learning this stuff. This will be my what? 1, 2, 3. This will be my 4th time doing this. Okay? And I think I've got it down now. So anyway, oh yeah, on this body you do got to cut out the where the motor goes. Not a big deal though. So anyway, once you scuff it up really good, and I'm not talking sand, a millimeter off it, just so it's scuffed up. You can also use an X-Acto blade or whatever, or a straight edge razor blade, and kind of scrape it within the lines of where the picture's going to go. Now once you do that, you're going to set this, and that's what I use this, whatever you want to use, but I've used this before, this board, and I'll set the picture. The front of the picture is where the glue is going to go first. So see how this picture here, because remember, you're sticking it in the body. So you're going to hold this down, take your art glue, make sure you got some paint brushes. You can get these in 99cents or whatever. And you're going to take your paintbrush, dip it in the glue, and you're going to just cover this really good all over the whole picture. Cover it really well. So there's, so it's nice, and you don't need to cake it on, but just so you got a nice layer of that glue on the picture. I use a brush like this. You just kind of brush it on, cover the whole picture. Now once you do that, then you take the picture. Remember, you've already got the lines traced out where you traced it. Put it in there. Line it up line it up there right in where it's gonna go, and just kind of press on it really good. Once you get it pressed on there, it'll start automatically sticking. Once you do that, then you take more glue, and now you want to put glue on the inside and try to cover the, just keep it within the picture. Don't get that glue all over the place, even though it dries clear. And then cover the back of the picture. So once you've done that, let it dry. I usually will let it dry, maybe an hour or so. I'm not in any hurry. You want to take your time if you want it done right. So once that's in there, you'll see, and you'll see where you can't even see the glue because it dries clear. That's the magic of that stuff. So anyway, once you get done that, then you can start taping around where you're going to do your graphics, like if you were going to paint a regular body. But that's how you put the pictures on. There's another process as far as, I'm not going to sit here and show you guys, how you do the masking, but I will let you know that masking is one of the most important things if you want your body to come out right. If you're shitty at masking, your paint's going to run all over the place, man. So you got to get good at masking, getting that paint and that paint on there nice and tight. Most vehicles come with these masking to mask the windows up. So, we'll get into the full deal. I just kind of wanted to show you guys a little bit of how it's done. It's very easy to do. It's not that hard. But a lot of people don't have the time to do it, so that's why people want to send them to me. If you want to send them to me, there'll be a fee to do it, and we'll discuss that, but, I will do it. It's not going to be turnaround time like, you send it to me and you get it the next week. That shit ain't happening because I'm really busy. Another thing I just got done putting together, I'm still putting some stickers on it. These are badass wings. I love this wing. I'm not sure if I'm going to put this wing on the buggy or if I'm going to put it on one of my truggies. I might put it on the buggy. I just like it. These wings are badass. So anyway, there's these little adjustment things on the top. So, cutting out stickers, figuring out what other stickers I got on there. So anyway, that's pretty much it. So I wanted to do this video to show that. One last thing that I want to touch on. A shout out to this guy, because this guy is all of a sudden, I don't know, he's starting to, get in. He does fit scale, but it's the Oregon Central Oregon. I don't know if I'm saying that right. I guess this guy's in Oregon. And by the way, I lived in Eugene, Oregon, for a while. Beautiful place to visit, but again, I wouldn't want to live there. I can't handle 9 months a year rain, or 8 months and 4 months of clear weather. That's how Northern California is. But it's a beautiful place. Actually, that's where I learned how to golf, was in Oregon. Beautiful golf courses, because obviously it's all green. But he was talking on his video about pipes. He wasn't familiar. Questions. Now let me kind of clarify certain things on my experience of all these pipes. I ran all these pipes, and most of these pipes have been on different, they've played musical pipes, so to speak. Mostly the longer pipes, which I've only got one long pipe. The longer the pipe, the more top end you're going to get. Okay, without me having to go into all the numbers, because that can get kind of confusing. Just remember this. The longer the pipe, the more top end you're going to get. Okay, and some mid, but you're not going to get as much bottom. This Reds pipe is a top end, mid to top end pipe. Just like the Dynamite 053 is a top end pipe. The Dynamite 086 is a bottom end pipe. Now all the rest of my pipes are mostly short. Okay, this thing is just bottom, mid, and it has decent top, which is the 2148. Now the 9886 is mostly bottom and mid. Now I don't know, I have only got 2 Novorosi pipes. I've got another one coming and another one of these. But I know I haven't ran this one. This one will be the next one. This is a 9901. Now these supposedly are best for .21s. Stock. So again, modded and stock changes things. But we'll just talk about stock because the majority of you guys aren't even at modification level yet. Some of you are dabbling in it, but a lot of you, I've got only 3 modded motors, but I've got 3 more. But 3 motors for the last, I don't know how many months is, I've gained a lot of experience on modded motors. And I will be doing a video when I get the other, the other motors that I'm going to have modded back, and I start breaking them in. I'm kind of, not, I don't want to say do a series, but I'll go over preparing your whip for a bigger, badder, more powerful motor, okay, which just rattle, especially when you're talking about the Rex stock or modded, and this Pico .28, these things just rattle shit everywhere. You almost just gotta dip your whip and Loctite. So anyway, we'll go over that, but shorter pipes, more mid, more bottom. Longer pipes, more mid top. Now headers, most conical headers, like short headers, this is what I was told by Lance and Rick, which are motor modifiers for 20, 30 years plus. The shorter this curve, the more bottom end you're going to get. The longer this curve, the more top end you're going to get. Because some of these curves are smaller and some of them are longer. Now that's why this one here, doesn't even have really a curve. This isn't considered a conical header. This one is. These are both 41032s, by the way. And I got another 41032 and a 99. I've got about 3 or 4 pipes that I got coming. So I'm just in pipe and motor mod mode. That's where the Muggie's at. Going not just to the next level, but going to a different level. Let's just say that. A level that I haven't seen anybody do yet. Or at least videotape it. So anyway, there we got almost an hour again of the Muggy Rant and Raving. So I think I pretty much covered everything. I did recommend that 053. I know for a fact, my experience on it, running it on 3 or 2 at least Novorosi 20.8 Rex Legends, the 053 Dynamite with the header it comes with performs the best and gives you the best fuel mileage. Okay, you do what you want. That's what works for me, and that's my experience. And I've got, 3 of them now? And I'm going to get another 28.8 Rex Legend. So anyway, that's what the Muggie's doing. That's what he's got. You know, so if you really want your shit to last, and you really want your shit to just stand the test of time, you know, do whatever you gotta do. Make the time to clean your shit thoroughly. Do I want to tear this thing down and clean it? Hell no. I wish I could just hose it off and then do the Bodegel way, but I know better. I don't do it that way. Water does not touch my whip anymore. Period. End of story. Water is not your friend in any RC, regardless of what anybody tells you. But you do what you want. To each his own. If it works for you, go for it. That's just doesn't work for me. So been there, done that. Anyway, that's all I got, people. Remember, if you're not running your shit, set your piston bottom dead center, okay, and put some muggy juice in it. And more importantly, people, do whatever makes you happy. Do whatever floats your boat. Do whatever puts a smile on your face, okay? Don't go by what I say or anybody else says. You be you. You do you. People like you, don't like you, whatever. I read this thing, and I'll leave you guys with this. Some of you guys might have heard it before. It says, I'm not in this world to live up to your expectations. And I could reword that as, I'm not on YouTube to live up to anybody's expectations. And you're not, okay, in this realm, whether, you know, in YouTube, to live up to my expectations. So, again, I'm not in this to live up to your expectations. You're not in this to live up to my expectations. You do you. You do your thing. I'll do my thing. Hey, if we meet up at the end, great. If not, oh well. Life goes on. Okay? So we'll leave you with that. I'll be talking to a couple of you guys on some certain things. You guys ask me questions. A couple of you guys want my number, want me to, you know, I don't mind. Okay? Just, I don't want to have to delete you. I don't want to have to block anybody. But some people I just have to and move on. I just have to, like, say, you know what? I'm over you already. Let me move on. Okay? And I have. So anyway, contest is coming up. Remember, it's not what your cave looks like or how badass your cave looks. What is in your cave? What are you running? What are your whips? What are your hardware? What are your motors? That's going to determine. Personally, right now, as far as what I've seen, if I was entering the contest, I would already win hands down. So this is what you got to compete with, people. Not that mine's the baddest cave that there is, but I don't know. It ain't the baddest, but I'll tell you what, it's got some pretty sick shit in it, and it's got more sick shit coming. Next level. So that's all I got, people. Catch you guys probably later this weekend. I'm out of here. Peace.